Hey guys, welcome to MBA 99 Plus Academy. It's Piyush again, and welcome to the crash course that we are going through for the CAT 2024 examination. And today we are going to discuss reading comprehension, one of the most requested topics by you guys, and possibly one of the most important ones in the whole CAT paper as well. So we are just going to look at one of the passages which was asked in CAT. And I'm going to show you how exactly to approach the reading comprehension passages. Okay, so this is the passage asked in CAT, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve it along with you, and also I'm going to tell you the precise method which I used while I was solving my mock examinations and in fact giving my CAT as well. Okay. So as soon as I see the passage, I first of all start counting the number of paragraphs. It's very, methodical for me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs, one big, and all other are very small paragraphs, so to say. Nevertheless, I'll just make some blocks around each of these paragraphs. Now, you may not have this facility to do in your CAT paper, so just on a sheet of paper, draw some blocks or just write paragraph 1 as P1, P2, P3, P4, P5 and P6, something like that. So your sheet may look something like this. Okay, now what are we going to do with these blocks? While reading the paragraphs, you have to summarize this in this block. It should take less than 6, 7, 8 words to summarize one paragraph. Why are we doing so? Because we are just making a mental map here. It's not writing long sentences, mind you. It is just creating some roadmap for you to follow so that when you go to the questions, you know exactly where to look for. Okay? Having said that, let me get started. So the paragraph says, many human phenomena and characteristics such as behaviors, beliefs, economies, genes, incomes, life expectancies and other things are influenced both by geographic factors and by non-geographic factors. Cool. So they are talking about something called as the geographic as well as non-geographic factors. I'm just writing the short form, G for geographic, NG for non-geographic. Geographic factors mean physical and biological factors tied to geographical location, including climate, distribution of wildlife, blah blah, whatever. So basically, geographical factors are related to geography. And non-geographic factors include those factors subsumed under the term culture, other factors subsumed under the term history and by individual people. Okay. So non-geographic factors are culture, history and individual people. Okay, IP. So the first paragraph talks essentially about this, and see how have I made the notes. It's not long sentences. It is just going by word. So example, for geography, I just denoted by G, NG for non-geographical factors, etc. How does it help me? It gives me the basic idea about this paragraph. Now, if a question comes, what is the main idea of this paragraph? It is to explain both the factors. As simple as that. Okay. Now, let's move to the next paragraph. The differences between the current economies of North Korea and South Korea cannot be attributed to the modest environmental differences between them. Okay? They are instead due entirely to different government policies. Okay? At the opposite extreme, the Inuit and other traditional people living north of the Arctic Circle developed warm fur clothes but no agriculture, while equatorial lowland people around the world never developed warm fur clothes but often did develop agriculture. The explanation is straightforwardly geographic rather than cultural or historical quirk unrelated to geography. Looks like the author favors geographic criteria over non-geographic. So I'm just going to symbolize it that geography up. It's my way of saying that, hey, the author is favoring geographical criteria. Now he says, Aboriginal Australia remained the sole continent occupied by hunter or gatherers with no indigenous farming or herding. Here, the explanation is biogeographic. So there is something called biogeographic. The Australian continent has no domesticable native animal species and few domesticable native plant species. Okay. Instead, the crops and domestic animals that now make Australia a food and wool exporter are all non-native. Okay. So here's the example of Australia as well. I'll just park it. I don't know why he has put it as of now. Today, no scholar would be silly enough to deny that culture, history, and individual choices play a big role in many human phenomena. Okay? Scholars don't react to cultural, historical, and individual agent explanation by denouncing cultural determinism, historical determinism, or individual determinism, and they think no further. But many scholars do react to any explanation given to some geographic role, invoking some geographic role by denouncing geographic determinism. So there is something called geographic determinism, which should mean the fact is determined by geography. So he's saying that scholars denounce something by calling that, hey, it's just derived out of geography. But they never say same thing for, hey, it's just derived out of culture. Hey, it's just derived out of history or individual determinism for that matter. So I'm pretty sure the author is up on geography and causes being explained by geography, and he has a certain sort of not so good relationship with people who denounce geographic determinism, or let's say who did not cite other reasons by calling them determinism, something like that. Several reasons may underlie this widespread but nonsensical. Clearly, he supports geographical determinism. One reason is that some geographic explanations advanced a century ago were racist. Okay, thereby causing all geographic explanation to be tainted by racist association. So he says that some people give the reason that the geographic explanations advanced many centuries ago, whatever geographic explanations were given, they were racist. Okay, and so whatever explanations people are giving even today, it is tainted by the same racism in the minds of many scholars other than geographers. Okay, but many genetic, historical, psychological, and anthropological explanations a century ago was also racist. Fair point. If you say that, hey, geographers a century ago were racist, now the author makes a claim that psychologists, historians, anthropologists, they also made some racist claims, but that those answers are widely accepted today. Another reason so that's the first reason he's discussing. Another reason for reflex rejection of geographic explanations. So the author basically has a problem with scholars rejecting geographical explanations, is that historians have a tradition in their discipline of stressing the role of contingency, a favorite word among historians. So I don't know the meaning of this word as of now, but that's okay. Based on stressing the role of contingency based on individual decisions and chance. Okay, often that view is warranted, but often too the view is unwarranted. I don't really know what he's trying to say. The development of warm fur cloths among the Inuit living north of the Arctic Circle was not because of one influential leader pursued for no good environmental reason. Okay, so basically environmental factor is there. I'm just getting that he is putting it's not because of a tradition, but it's rather because of environmental factors, something developed. The third reason is that the geographic explanations usually depend on detailed technical facts of geography and other fields of scholarship. Mostly historians and economists do not acquire that detailed knowledge, which is fine. The third is like training nahi hai. There is no training. Okay. That completes our paragraph. These two paragraphs, last three paragraphs, just gives the reasons of disappointment for your author. Okay. Straightforward paragraph, I would say. Let's have a look at the question. So basically, I think the main agenda is that the author has the problem with scholars who are denouncing the geographical explanations. Let's go to the question. The question says all of the following can be inferred from the passage except. Now, this means all of the following can be inferred. That is, 3 of them will be true, 1 cannot be inferred from the passage. We have to find the one which cannot be inferred from the passage. Agricultural practices changed drastically in the Australian continent after it was colonized. True. It is straight away given, no? Australia. See, that's where making notes come handy. I'll just go to the place where Australia was mentioned. Yeah, here. So they say that the Australian continent had no domesticable animal species and few domesticated plant. Instead, the crops and domestic elements that are now here were mostly non-native. So basically it changed. So the first option is true. Second is individual diktat and contingency. Contingency, there was a word. Were not the causal factors for the use of fur in some... this is true, no? I told you in the second explanation that he is saying that individual diktat and the culture or tradition is not the reason why fur clothing was made. It was purely because of environmental reasons. Okay, so that is also correct. So 2 options are eliminated. These are not the right choices, by the way. These statements can be validated from the passage. Hence, they are not the right choices. While most human phenomena result from culture and individual choice, some have biogeographic origins. Author will discard this, na? Author too simply says that culture and individual choice plays a role, but geographic explanations are also there. So some have biogeographic origin. I'll just park it. I don't think the author will say that some have biogeographic while most have culture and individual. The author is denouncing cultural and individual explanation. So I will just give it a slight hint that this can be our answer, but I'll just read the other one as well. Several academic studies of human phenomena in the past involved racist interpretations. True, this is true. It was straight away given in the passage. So of course, C is the best choice. Do you see how making short notes helps you? I am not asking you to prepare long, lengthy sentences worthy of notes. Just prepare 5 to 10 words of sentence of notes, and it will help you out. It will help you build a roadmap as to when a question is asked, where do you go to? It may take, let's say, 15-20 seconds extra, but it's worth it. Second question. Second question says all of the following are advanced by the author. Advanced by the author just means that author supports as reasons for why non-geographers disregard geographic influences on human phenomena, except there. Oh God. So 3 of these options will be correct. That 3 of these reasons are 3 of the given options are the reasons why non-geographers discard the geographic influences. 1 will not be the reason as inferred from the passage. Okay. So first option, dismissal of explanations that involve geographic causes for human behavior. I don't know. I'll just park it. Belief in the central role of humans unrelated to physical surroundings in influencing phenomena. Central role of humans. Yeah, that is true. Now that's where then they said, when they said that fur clothing was because it was not because one leader asked people to do so, rather it was environment. So this is there. Lingering impressions of past geographic lines. Yeah, that's true. There was politically offensive. It said now they were racist comments or something. Disciplinary training. Yeah, that's also true. The author mentions in the last that there is no disciplinary training. So of course, option A is the best option. It just was clear with the help of elimination. Okay, it would have been very difficult for me to mark the answer A if there were one more confusing options. It's just that the 3 options were straightforward eliminated. So I'm confident enough for option A. The examples of Inuit and Aboriginal Australians are offered in the passage to show. Okay. Aboriginal was that example where they said that plant and animal species in Australia were not native. How environmental factors lead to comparatively divergent parts. What? This is nonsense. Not even told in paragraph. Human resourcefulness across cultures. Nonsense. Not in paragraph. Where is it talk about human resourcefulness? How physical circumstances can dictate human behavior and culture. True. Inuit, they told about, and Aboriginals also they told that because of physical circumstances, non-native things can also be there. Okay, so it's true. Looks like that despite geographical isolation, traditional societies were self-sufficient and adaptive. This may look confusing, but traditional societies were self-sufficient and adaptive. No, because if they talk about self-sufficient, I was just thinking about whether Australian example, Aboriginal examples fit into this, but they mentioned they were not self-sufficient because there were very less amount of sort of their native animals and native plants. They were very less, so they were not self-sufficient. They were adaptive but not self-sufficient. So the best answer is C. Cool. Let's go to the last question. The author criticizes, he does criticize a lot, scholars who are not geographers for all of the following reasons except. So there will be 3 reasons why the author criticizes the scholars, 1 reason why he doesn't. We have to pick that one. So it says that their rejection of the role of biogeographic factors. He criticizes that the people just reject the biogeographic factors given in the Aboriginal example. Their outdated interpretation of past cultural and historic phenomena. I'm not sure about this. Their labeling of geographic explanation as deterministic. They so told that the scholars put a deterministic tag on geography while not on other disciplines. The importance they place on the role of individual decisions while studying for human fur. That is true. The example of fur. The example where they said that the fur clothing was not built because of social culture or because one man or one leader propagated it. Rather, it was an environmental consideration, considering that the region was far too cold. So we are left with option B. I just want to validate this. Their outdated interpretation, where I'm sure the option B is correct, but I think it is because it says that their outdated interpretations. I mean, their interpretations were of their, about the studies related to the past, but the interpretations themselves were not outdated per se. I think this is because option B looks to be correct. So I think options C, A, C and B should be the right choices. Okay. Now, what did you learn? Where have we? Okay, so what have we learned? How much do we know now? Good. So I think the most important thing for you to learn is go slow while solving the passages. It is very important that you go slow, especially in the beginning. Right now, I understand that you may be feeling that, I can solve the passage, but my accuracy is only 50%. 50% accuracy is not going to take you anywhere. Okay, you need at least 80 to 90% accuracy in RC. Many students have complained to me that, I read the passage, I solved, let's say, 12 questions, I got 7 correct, 5 incorrect. How many marks will you get? 7 into 3? 21 minus 5, 16. 16 marks are going to fetch you nowhere. It's going to get you nowhere. Rather, I will have you solve only 10 problems and get all 10 of them correct. Okay, that way you score 30 marks, and of course VA section is still pending, so you can get 2 or 3 more correct. So don't run behind speed. It's not a race against someone. All you have to do is choose the right questions to solve. For example, in this passage, I would have left this question, the third one, probably in the examination, because I was getting confused into third and fourth. I probably would have also left the second, this question, second option. I mean, in examination, I don't know what what confusing thoughts may have come into my mind, but this was pretty confusing. And option B, this was a very confusing option. So look into the fact that you have a limited time in the examination and you have to maximize the result. So if you attempt, let's say, 12 questions, get 3 incorrect, give another mock, solve only 10. Let's say you get only 1 incorrect. That's a far better place to be in. 12 correct, 12 attempt and 3 incorrect. That will fetch you 24 marks. That's a far better place to be in. 10 attempted and 1 incorrect. That means you have scored 28 marks. This is a far better place to be in rather than attempting 12 and getting 3 incorrect. Okay? So analyze your papers accordingly. See how many attempts fetch you the maximum marks. Let's say you give mock 1, mock 2. I'm talking about sectional mocks, mock 3. You mark it attempted versus correct. How many attempted correct? Let's say you attempted 17 and you were only correct in 11. Your marks will be pretty low in this. That means you have only 27 marks. You have mock number 2. You attempted only 15 but you got 12 correct. Cool. So 15 in 12, you means 33 marks. Very good. You attempted 14 but you got 12 correct again. So you got 34 marks, right? So that way you just give 5 to 6 marks and see in what range your total marks is maximum. And try to attempt in that range only. Now you may say that, hey, this strategy might get flawed. What if the question comes way too easy or way too tough? But believe me, no strategy is foolproof. You have to bet on something that may work, that has worked for you in the past. And you have to believe that, hey, this strategy is the best strategy for you and it will work in the examination as well. Okay? I hope this video served some purpose for you and it helped you understand how to attempt the RC section of CAT. If you got some value out of it, consider liking this video, consider subscribing the video, and also don't forget to hit the bell icon. There is the link for the Telegram group which I run to mentor the students for CAT 2024 with the help of the crash course that was being presented to you right now. I hope this was helpful. Share this with your friends and I'll see you soon in the next video.